All right, folks, here we go again behind the start line. Hope you're ready to rock and roll. Troy, how are you feeling? Are you ready to rock and roll?
I'm ready, Eric. Good to see you again, man.
It's good to see you
Back
too,
for
guys.
Another episode.
Oh my gosh, wouldn't be anywhere else. So happy to be here to be talking about all the fun things that are involved in P3R, but also just in the running community in Pittsburgh. It is, as we talked before, such an amazing running community. It's powerful. It's motivating. It's inspiring, and you feel like so much of the city is cheering for you when you are a part of it.
And it doesn't matter how fast or slow. We talk about that a lot. It just so happens today, though, we have a really fast member of the running community on the podcast.
We've got a speedster.
We've got a speedster.
Yeah, it's the first of our, I believe it's the first of our elite athletes that are running with us, and she's a big one. She's a big time. Yeah, we've got some star power today, and we're really excited about it. I think we could get right to it.
Yeah,
right?
let's bring her on.
Let's jump right into it.
Ready to roll.
All right, guys. So without further ado, we're going to introduce our special guest today. She is, as I mentioned, an elite athlete, and she's an Olympic trials qualifier for the marathon. We're going to get into that and all about it. But right now, let's introduce her. This is local runner elite, Jen Bigham. Hey, Jen. All right, folks, it is time now to introduce our special guest for today. And Troy and I were saying, we're really excited because she's actually our first elite athlete to be on behind the start line. So without further ado, we'll get into the accolades as we go along. But this is local runner Jen Bigham. Jen, how are you?
I'm awesome. How are you guys?
Good.
Good, Jen. Good to see you.
Yeah. So really, like I said, excited to have you on the show. I don't know if you have been listening to the show just yet, but you
better have.
Yeah,
I have listened to every episode. I promise.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Jen, thank you.
That's a big moment for
Jen's
us.
pushing
Troy.
our number. Yeah, that's big.
That's
She's
right.
pushing our numbers up. I like it.
Yeah, that's perfect. And not only that, but I mean, we've got star power basically backing our show right now. So just so you guys know, and you may blush a little bit, and we are recording this, so we'll see it. But basically, Jen is an Olympic trials qualifier in the marathon distance, which is incredible. You did it in Eugene, Oregon, at the Eugene Marathon. And I was checking this out. Your finishing time, was that your PR? I was about to say, was that your P3R?
Yeah.
Is that your PR?
That was my P3R and my PR. I was thinking of you all that day. So
I like that. So it was, let's see, 2:41:37, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's just cooking. What's the average per mile on that?
I think it's 6:11 or 6:10-ish. Yeah.
Moving.
Yeah.
Now, and again, I apologize for not knowing this, but is it, when you qualify for the Olympic trials, is it based on time, or was it like only first place in that race was going to get you there?
Yeah, it's based on time. So for the women, you'll have to run 2:45 or faster.
Nice. So you had some room to breathe.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. That felt good.
Yeah, definitely. Now, were there some people out there pushing you? Were there some ladies with you for most of the race?
I ran with a few people through mile 11-ish, and there's a hill at mile 11, but guess where we live? In Pittsburgh, we know
ready,
hills.
Jen.
Yeah.
Ready for it.
I mean, to me, the hill was nothing,
Yeah.
And compared to Atlanta, the trials, the hill was nothing. But, compared to a normal person who runs a lot of flat or runs on the treadmill, that hill kind of broke people, where I just maintained my pace and then everyone was gone. And so I just went, but it was kind of nice and peaceful. It was beautiful. It was a spike trail, through the forest. I felt like pretty good that I was going to win after a while. I knew I felt good the whole race,
Yeah. I mean, that's a testament to your training mainly, because being able to know your pace, being able to feel how you feel for, the remaining 15 miles is pretty incredible. So
Jen, would you say that? So you kind of touched on it. You qualified for the Olympic trials in Atlanta this year. We know how tough the course was. Mm-hmm. Would you say that the Eugene Marathon was your most memorable race, or is it the Olympic trials, or is there another race? I mean, we haven't got into it yet. I know Eric was about to.
Yeah.
You have a long resume of wins really across the country. So I'm interested to see what your most memorable win, or maybe it wasn't a win. Maybe it was something like the trials.
that's a good question. Yeah.
I think like a lot of races hold a special place in my heart, but there are quite a few Pittsburgh races that hold a special place in my heart. The first time I ran the Pittsburgh half, I had just moved here 5 months before, and I had just had my second baby at the time. And, I just didn't even know what I was going to do. And I think I don't know if I ended up 5th overall and 3rd American. And, there was just such a special feel being a part of that, and like my new city, and my with that second child, my water broke on the start line of the Great Race. Yeah. Not the day of the race, but I was out. I run right by there every.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was 2 days before, and they put up that banner, and I was just out for a run. I said, "Oh, this is that race everyone talks about. I'm going to take a picture." And I took a picture and, with my phone, and then I ran under the start line and my water broke. And so I was like, this race has some significance to me. And, years later,
you go and win it.
Yeah. 3-time champion.
Yeah.
3 times. Nice.
So it's just like there are all these, but like Eugene was a very special day. It was a very it wasn't like I finished and I'm gonna, scream some curse words, which I don't do anyway. But, it was nothing like, it was just like, yes, thank you. Yeah. This is the moment I've been waiting for. It was a very calm moment. The first time I broke 17 in a 5K was another kind of big moment for me. But yeah, there are just so many. There are just, anytime you do something that you don't think you can do, it's pretty special. Or when you feel like you set yourself up for something like, not like I tried to have my water break under the start line of the Great Race, but I felt like that was some setup. Like
that was
this
a
is
sign.
Important.
For you.
And I said, I'll win this race someday. And then I did. So yeah. So many memories.
It's that culmination point of your dreams, and not just dreams, but all that hard work. That's the beautiful thing about running, is it's not just like you dream it and then it happens. You put in, like you said, 2 years out from Eugene, you felt like it was going to happen, but it was years and years before that went into getting to even that point. And so to have it all sort of come to fruition right there in that moment across the finish line is just, it's overwhelming and like you said, there's a calm for sure.
Yeah. And there are lots of failures along the way too, that people don't talk about. But running is just one of those things where if you keep at it, you will see success at some point, and everyone's success is a little bit different. And that's the special thing about running.
Yeah. That's really well put.
You mentioned the 3rd place American in the Pittsburgh half. Really, what was it? 2 months after you moved here, right?
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. So I guess, I came here in September, and then had my baby at the end of the month. And then, I guess whatever, however many months.
Yeah. 6-7 months. Yeah. Do you feel like that race though was your breakout race? And it feels weird saying that, but if you look from that race on and everything that you've done in those 6-7 years, and I know you're Ohio State college athlete, go Buckeyes, but then there was some babies in between and there was some time off. So do you feel like the marathon half was a breakout for you? Like, how did you feel after that? Do you feel like I can still do this? It was 15 years after running in college, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I always feel like every time you have a kid, you just don't know what's going to happen. Some people come back, some people give it up forever. And I sort of had my resurgence then. And my time wasn't that fast, but I was kind of going just to break 120, that day. And I ran 119 something. And it was, it was just really special. And it felt like, it was a start to something. It was a start to my life in Pittsburgh. We had moved around a lot before that. And we kind of goal city where we wanted to, be. It's just such an awesome city. So it felt like the start of like our new chapter.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that I wanted to ask you about, Jen, is just why was Pittsburgh for so long a goal city? Like, what drew you here? We're so happy that you're a part of our city and you're such a staple now, but and I was born and raised here. So it's always been just this shining beacon of light. But like for people who weren't born here, you were born in Ohio, what brought you here?
So like the number one thing that brought us here is my husband is a computer scientist. So he is at Carnegie Mellon and he works at Apple as well. Later on, he started that. And we wanted to be in a city where that could be close to home. We're 3 hours from my in-laws in Columbus and about 4 hours from my parents in Toledo area. And we wanted to be in a city that didn't feel huge, but had everything we could want to do. And I mean, I think anyone can agree, like, there's nothing you can like that isn't covered in Pittsburgh. I mean, we have like my kids are musicians, and, you know, they have like an award-winning, the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra. You have all the sports teams, which we love going to all of those events. Running is amazing here. We have hills, we have flat, we have, you know, the parks that are just in the city that you can run in. I live between, you know, Frick and Shenley Park, and we have the museums and like the whole cultural district, and we have great restaurants, and there's, I just feel like there's something for everybody, but it also feels like the small towns that my husband and I both grew up in, because people are friendly. You know, you get in a half-hour-long conversation at Giant Eagle, you know, like with a stranger, you know.
Yep, right.
So I don't know, the city just feels really special, and we still have our families in our lives, and we have, I coach at a high school here. We are doing like the things that we love. And it's just an awesome city.
So Winchester, Thurston, that's where you coach, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Very cool. And that's a smaller school. It's a private school, right?
Yes.
And because I know there's two different branches. Are you at the one that's located in Oakland?
In the city, yeah.
In the city, correct? And so do these kids, do they know how awesome their coach is? Do they know like...
I don't know.
how much of a beast you are?
I don't know. The kids are awesome. They're just good kids. You know, people will say like high school kids these days, so bad, but I would let any of these kids like, you know, babysit my own kids or, you know, house sit my house. I mean, kids are so good. And to coach runners, high school runners, just like restores your faith in the next generation and the current world. And they're amazing. Like, you know, coaching is a big time commitment, and, you know, the pay off is like the monetary. I mean, you don't do it for the money, you do it because you love it. And it's the reward you get out of it is everything, you know?
Yeah, it's incredible. I coached at my alma mater. I went to Fox Chapel High School in the North Hills, and I coached there for a year after I ran at Pitt. And it's, you know, it might be a little bit different at a public school, because you definitely get some of the kids who are just like there because maybe their parents forced them to do it, you know, and some of those kids turn around, you know, they eventually, if they have a good time, and I feel like if they have a good coach, they will come along, but there are just some that aren't really into it. But the ones who are, it really is. It's the most rewarding thing. And, you know, you can't help but live a little vicariously through them to see those accomplishments happen, and for them to realize, oh my gosh, if I really do set my mind to this, I'll get these results that I've dreamt about. And it's really incredible. It's
amazing. Like, you know, you tell someone run through the summer and see what happens, and they come back a totally different runner. I mean, the most simple things that kids just don't know until you tell them, and it changes their life, you know? Yep.
That's absolutely true. The running in the summer was a huge thing. Doing indoor track in the wintertime was a huge thing too. So
we do that too. Yep.
Yeah. That's cool. So speaking about kids, you have 3, and now I was told right before we started recording, you're looking at your 4th. Unbelievable. Congratulations.
I wasn't going to announce it. I said, who cares about your 4th kid really, other than your grandparents, right? Like nobody cares, but people say they care. So we had a cute little announcement, and we're excited. It's like a strange time. I mean, like, you know, what's a typical day in a pandemic, and when you're pregnant and when your kids are doing like virtual school. But we're just trying to we try every day. We're sometimes like thriving and sometimes surviving, but yeah, we're really excited about the baby. And it's, I have a daughter and then 2 sons, and we just found out this is another daughter. So,
cool.
Nice.
Did our
so
little palindrome. We got the 2 and 2.
Yeah.
You got the perfect mixed relay to run out.
We do. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, do any of them run? I feel like they have to, right?
They run the kids marathon every year. So yes. And my daughter is in 5th grade. So she has, participated in, they have it for like the lower schools now. The little kids do little cross country meets, and she trains like 2 days a week with the team, or in past years. They're not doing it this year. And she likes it, but you know, it's very low key. I mean, you wouldn't know her parents are runners. You know, we're not out there saying like, okay, and let's run every day. Yeah. It's kind of like the fun thing. I didn't start until 7th grade, and I felt like that was really good for me. But my kids run like regular kids should be out running. I mean, they're outside playing every day. We go to the parks and they roller skate and ride their bikes and do all sorts of things. And then my 6-year-old has done the kids marathon a few times as well. And he's done the toddler trot. And then my 4-year-old has done the toddler trot as well. But I mean, who knows if they'll run? I don't know if they'll run. I mean, my husband and I both run, like it's in our hearts, no one tells us to run. We just want to run. So I feel like they probably will, but they do gymnastics and swimming and the sports, my daughter does lacrosse in school and they both did basketball. So we just want them to be active and whatever they decide. They're really into music and art too. So we'll just see where they end up,
Very well-rounded kids you have there, Jen.
Yeah, so far so good. We'll see.
The oldest playing the violin, correct? Is impressive. She does.
Oh, thank you.
She does concerts out where Jen and Jeff live at, and it's just very impressive for how old's the oldest? She's
10.
5th grade.
Yeah.
She's 10. It's so they're very well-rounded kids. So
yeah,
that's the way to be.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like running. You listen to a piece and you think, I'm never going to be able to play this, but you just put in a little work toward it every day, piece by piece. And next thing you know, you're running a marathon. Next thing you know, you're playing a concert piece. They're very similar. I realize every day.
Absolutely.
Yep. Hard work pays off.
Yeah, it does.
How are they dealing with the virtual life? How are you dealing with the virtual life?
I know. So it just started today. So
how are you able to do this right now?
They're upstairs just surviving. My husband is working from home for like the foreseeable future. I mean, tech people, that's what they can do anytime. So he's up there with them. And then my 4-year-old used to be in preschool last year, but he's kind of in a situation where a lot of people use it for their daycare. And so we gave up our spot because my husband is working from home. I don't coach until the evenings. I'm usually gone once school hours are over. So we gave up his spot. So I'm kind of like homeschooling him in reading books, playing outside, doing some workbooks. But I mean, maybe there'll be some routine set up, but right now it's like chaos. This morning I was just like running around like, okay, you're logged on. Okay. Oh, the internet's not working for you. What do we do? But I think everyone's in the same boat. And I think everyone is giving everyone else a lot of grace. I mean, maybe people don't give themselves grace, but I remember if we're having problems, we're not the only ones.
Right.
And I'm just trying to keep everybody chill, not make a big deal about it. They're gonna, I hope that they'll learn something this year and it'll be fine.
There you go. And I've got to know because, and Troy can relate to this. And, when do you find that time to get your runs in? When do you find the you time? Yeah.
Normally when I'm training, intensely, it's the first thing I do. I get up, I eat, I have coffee and I eat a small breakfast and then I do my run. It's non-negotiable. Right. My husband and I both run and it's the thing we don't miss. We talk about it every day. This is what's going to this is what you do. This is what I do. He usually runs in the afternoon. But now that I'm pregnant, I run a lot less when I'm pregnant. So it's less stressful because I know I'm going to get a half hour or 40 minutes. And actually a lot of days I just run with the team, which is my job as well. So I'm going to practice. Yes. Yeah. So I kind of get in whatever, if I need to run a little more, I'll run there and run back. Or not need to run a little more, but if they're doing intervals, I'm not doing those right now. I mean, some pregnant women just do it, just do their normal thing, but I usually just chill out, let my body completely heal. Cause I know what I want to do after. So right now I just kind of maybe run to practice, do a little bit of running with a team and run home.
Yeah. I mean, that's the sweet spot for sure.
Yeah.
When you can blend those two parts of your day, the you time and the time you're dedicating to your team, it's just all right. Yeah. You're hacking life right now. Right. Yeah. I'm trying. Yeah. You totally are. So you mentioned saying what you're going to be doing after. So is that something you're willing to share? After this 4th child, are you going to be back?
I sure hope so. I have every plan to qualify for the next Olympic trials.
Yes. That's so awesome.
I feel like I've hit that new level of maybe not even fitness, but wisdom as to what it takes, and my body has everything in it that it needs. I mean, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 39, but I still feel like I have lots of fast races in me. So this is a great time to be pregnant. With the pandemic, a lot of races aren't happening. I was doing some virtual races, and I think I am doing the Great Race virtual, but like walk jog probably. Actually, with my friend who was on the podcast, Erica Strasser is my buddy.
Yeah.
We might do it together.
Cool.
Or, like separate, but together. But yeah, I hope to be back in great shape, taking it slowly, but getting back there and have at least another marathon trials in me.
That is so exciting.
You have the formula, Jen.
Yeah, I hope so.
After 3 kids, you have the formula how to get back. I mean,
I know.
I have complete faith in you that we'll see you at the Olympic trials in 2024 for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, well, you said it's, in a way you said it. And one of the things that I found out with running and doing triathlon is that it's at a point, it gets not so much how good you are and how strong you are. It's almost more about how good are you at not getting injured. How good are you at like taking yourself to that limit, but not going too far. And it's the people who have the experience and the wisdom, like you said, to just like ride that line and to pull back, but never go beyond it. Right. They're the ones that it's longevity, and you clearly have it. And it's just so exciting to watch.
Thank you.
So let's talk about the opposite of longevity in a way. If I were a new runner, if I were a brand new runner, maybe even like, someone in their 30s who's just starting out to running, or someone who are on the brink of being in their 40s, what's your best advice to them? What would you say, because I can imagine it being daunting, being at that age and saying, I've never really done this before. And it's kind of like a younger person's thing, isn't it? What would you have to say?
Yeah, not at all. Just start. I mean, people think about like what they want to do so hard instead of just doing it. You just have to start and be as consistent as you can. And that doesn't mean, every day now, like I go out, it might be like you start with 10 minutes of walk jogging and you give yourself a day off, and then you make sure you do it again the next day, and you're probably going to be sore, but sticking with it and just starting, I mean, as many like gadgets and everything as we all like to have with running, you really only need a pair of comfortable shoes. All the rest can come later, and you get that time to yourself. You get that free time, and you get that, you get the endorphins, and you just feel so much better after. So if you just start and then, find a way to stick to it, you'll just be amazed. It'll change your life. Yeah, totally. And I like how you said, don't start out every day. I think an important thing is, there's moderation just in like everything in life. And, you can be too gung-ho, and then you'll end up in a situation where you could get injured. And then I could see, if you're just starting out, you could be like, oh, wow, this broke me. I'm not going to do this ever again. So, it's important to go in with a little bit of a plan and definitely listen to your body. And I think, again, with that wisdom thing, you'll get better at it as you go along. Just to hear the little signs of like, maybe I plan to run today, but maybe I shouldn't, or maybe I should just go out and walk. And so, yeah, definitely never too old to start running, to start moving. Right, Troy?
That's it. All about movement.
It's all about
Jen,
movement.
what are some of your favorite spots to run in Pittsburgh? I know you live close to 2 of the parks you mentioned, but you have to have some favors for you and Jeff to get out there and run. Oh boy. I like running everywhere I've run in Pittsburgh. I mean, I just love running like through Squirrel Hill. I love being in the parks because you don't worry about traffic, or sun or, anything, you can kind of zone out. I really love Frick and Shenley. If I ever can't, if I'm ever saying like, oh man, I need 2 more miles and I'm not feeling it, I just cut right into Frick Park and I got the run. I'm probably going to go farther than I need to. I love doing workouts at the Oval, Shenley Oval. It is like so cute. The way people get behind you, I will work out when I do my workouts. They're very, they're certain days of the week at a certain time. I see the same people. They cheer me on. They make little comments. I cheer them on. It's just the sweetest that, like there'll be old people who go out walking together, and it's just the best thing. I feel like we're on the same team and we're all rooting for each other. I like going to the jail trail and like just running along the rivers in general. I love whenever they close down the streets for races and we can run downtown, places that usually only cars go,
I just love it all. And there's something, depending on your mood, you can have flat paved trail, you can have hilly park, you can have a little bit of everything. So
so much diversity here. And I think that's what makes it, like we were saying, such an interesting and such a rewarding city to live in. Not just as runners, but as just, common people and just people who are looking to enjoy what Pittsburgh has to offer. But certainly for running or cycling, there's just so many different terrains and things to take in.
I think that's what's helped out our virtual events, right, Eric? I mean, there's so many different options, and people are like, listen, I'm going to run the EQT 10 miler this year here. You know what I mean? Just in a different area. So it's really helped out with the virtual events that they run in different areas, like it was race day. So
yeah, you make it your own, which is the cool thing. This year of craziness in 2020, it can throw some people off, but at the same time, you can thrive with it and you can say, hey, this is going to be my EQT 10 miler and I'm going to run my portion of the race in the areas that I love the most, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So, I know you said it earlier, you're planning on doing the Great Race virtually. Mm-hmm. Are you planning on doing EQT virtually?
We'll see. I mean, 10 miles might be pushing it for me. Maybe a walk jog at that point. We'll see. I do love that race. And a lot of times I will cheer for that race. I'll cheer. I have a lot of friends who run it and my husband will run it. That's always like an interesting time of the year for how my training is going, So a lot of times my husband will run that race and I will be the cheerleader and it is amazing. Cheering for Pittsburgh events. It's like so much fun. It makes you, I want to run the races, but it's never a sad thing when you can't. After I did Eugene, it was the week before Pittsburgh Marathon. And that year I just ran down Beechwood. I ran down Beechwood from my house and went to Fifth and just cheered for runners there. And it's like exhilarating. It's just such an awesome time. And, handing out things to runners. It's just, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do EQT, but probably cheering for people.
Yeah. We were talking about this on an earlier podcast, is that Pittsburgh is a sports town. And I think to be a sports town, you have to love all sports and you have to have a great cheer squad. And so you taking off running to get out there and cheer, that's a huge component. Now I got to know, Tracktown USA, Pittsburgh, PA, which one has the better cheer squad?
Oh, 100% Pittsburgh.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So at the Eugene Marathon,
very quiet. Very
really
quiet. Mm-hmm.
Well, you said a lot of it's on trails, right? So
yes. Yeah, okay. The bike trail. Yeah. It just not trails, like it was easily runnable. It was a paved trail,
trail.
It's along the river and just not really spectator friendly, but
but in the spectator friendly portions, were they as hype? Were they as amped as Squirrel Hill? No,
definitely not.
I love hearing that.
Not at all.
Yeah. That's amazing. I think it's important for us to remember that, for us to recognize that, for us to realize like what a special thing we have here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, we really do.
That's amazing. Very cool. Well, okay. We're talking about how much you love Pittsburgh and we're so happy that you're a part of it. EQT, last year it was a Pittsburgh themed race with a different theme at every mile. If you had one little nugget of Pittsburgh that you missed, and I know you didn't run through it, but if there's something that you would love to see at a future EQT 10 miler themed Pittsburgh, what would it be?
My husband and I have joked, we love going to like the different sporting events. We always go to many Pirates games and we always watch the pierogies race around the bases.
Yes.
But which pierogi would win the 10 miler? Which one, it's, so I feel like we need to find out.
Yeah, we could.
That's right.
Are we
sauerkraut Sal? I would take sauerkraut.
Are we real? So we're talking about getting them to do the whole 10 miles.
Oh yeah. You think they could handle it?
That's a big leap from
Jen, the liability issue on that from my standpoint.
I know. We can dream,
it would be funny to see it. Yeah.
Because when they're running the bases, we're like, come on. When they're running the warning track, we're like, come on. Like,
yeah.
Who would win?
Get some distance.
Give us the real deal.
Yeah.
Well, I will have to say one of my favorite wedding memories, because I DJ weddings, and one of my favorite wedding memories is we had a wedding couple who I guess purchased some pierogi outfits and they had a full on, this was at Soldiers and Sailors down in Oakland, and they've got a pretty big ballroom upstairs. side note, it's where they filmed a scene from the Silence of the Lambs, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you've ever seen it, it's like the cage where they hold Hannibal Lecter. It's like it's a secret thing, and I don't tell our wedding couples that are there until after their wedding's over.
Yeah, good idea.
I don't want to creep them out too much, but then I'm like, yeah, you guys were kind of in a special, weird place. But anyways, they had people from their wedding party dress up, and they did a mini pierogi race at their wedding reception. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. And so, yes, if we could extend that over 10 miles, it just doesn't have to be the actual pierogiis, Troy. We can get we can get some knockoff costumes, maybe.
Friends. Yeah,
that's so Pittsburgh,
people.
though.
Yeah.
That is so Pittsburgh.
It is, yeah.
Oh, it's
tremendous.
Quintessential. That's incredible. Well, Jen, I thank you so much for being with us. I couldn't have asked or thought of a better first elite runner to be with us here. And what a great ambassador for this city and for all of these races. You're incredible.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks for taking time out of your day, your busy day too. I feel like really special. I feel like we're really special.
No, Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for taking me out of the virtual school.
Oh, good point. Yeah, that's a good point. There was some strategy on your end too. Hey, Jeff, I need you to teach the kids for the first hour today.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you need us to have you on tomorrow, we can do that again. The rest of the week.
Yeah, this is an ongoing thing, right? Okay.
Yeah. Totally. We would have no problem with that. So
thank you, guys.
Yeah, Jen, thanks so much. Best of luck with your anchor leg of the relay. With her coming into the world, and good luck with coming back. I will be following you on Twitter and Instagram because I really want to follow your pursuits, and I want to see how getting to the trials in 2024 will be.
Well, thanks for joining us, Jen. We'll see you at a start line hopefully very soon.
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely, Jen.
Have a good day.
Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
Awesome. Well, what a great guest that was. Jen was incredible to be on here. Folks, we thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to head to a question that we have from one of our listeners. We're so happy that you guys are sending in questions or shout outs to us. It's very fun. This one comes from Sarah in the South Hills. And Troy, this is kind of a question I think for both of us, but mainly for you actually. It says, what made you want to start a podcast at P3R?
Wow. I just noticed this question too on our sheet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So this is real. This is organic.
This is going to be very organic. I thought it was important for us to be able to give that behind the scenes look to runners. A lot of the times, and we've talked about it, they just show up at a start line and they finish the race and go home, and they don't get to see everything that goes into it. It's not that we want to make them appreciate it more. I think people find it very interesting. Mm-hmm. I think people find the event management side of it, the stories that we're able to share, one that we just had with Jen.
Incredible.
I think that anytime that we can give more publicity to a sport that frankly really needs it, we're going to do it. We're going to put the resources behind it. And even if we can get 10 or 15 more people that listen to get out there and move, I think that's a win. Yeah. And I think that we've done that. I mean, I think we've done that through the episodes. I've had people reach out. And said, hey, you inspired me to go out and start running or jogging.
That's awesome.
So I think that, there was a lot of thought behind the why. And I talk about the why a lot, but the why was really to showcase how great not just Pittsburgh is as a running community, but how great the sport is. And once you get into it, how much you can appreciate kind of the behind the scenes and what it takes to put on this race and really what it takes to keep moving. So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, just even in this last episode alone, I wanted to get out of here and run at least 3 or 4 times when Jen was talking to us. And
pretty
I know,
inspiring.
Yeah, it really is. And she's one of, the many that we've already had on the show to keep us focused on moving, which is great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great question, Sarah. Thanks for sending it in.
Yeah.
For sure.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And as you guys know, because we've been doing this since people have been sending in questions, Sarah's going to be receiving a 4-Run-2 shirt courtesy of the P3R store. So keep an eye out for that. And folks, if you are interested in getting a 4-Run-2 shirt or any other of the P3R gear, you can always check all of that gear out at the P3rstore.com. Again, that's P3rstore.com. Also, if you feel like sending in some questions of your own or shout outs, please do bring them on, guys. We want this to be as interactive of a podcast as possible. So you can send those questions to behindtheline@p3r.org. Again, behindtheline@p3r.org.
And we have a lot of fall events coming up that obviously are virtual. So send your shout outs to the people that you know that are completing the 5K great race, the 10K great race, the 10 miler. We want to shout out those people that are still out there moving with us. So that's a great point, Eric.
Yeah, thanks. And so that's how you can get in touch with us directly. But if you just want to shout out, we want to shout out people on here for sure. So please send that to us. But if you feel like doing that as well on P3R's other social media platforms, you can always do that at Run with P3R, at Run with P3R. All right, guys. Troy, good one, man.
Another great time, man. Thanks for a great guest there with Jen. I think we learned a lot. And I think that, like you said, it was very inspiring. She's an inspiration.
Local celebrity. And I just love seeing, I think most people know that once you get past 34, 35, like, I don't want to say you're on borrowed time, but it's like, it's the chips are stacked against you. There are
She's
people
gotten better.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of brought it up. And, you don't want to bring her age out.
Right.
But she has worked so hard and she's gotten better. I've seen her at so many finish lines, usually winning, not just a great race, the Steelers 5K. And she just gets stronger with time. And I think she used the word wisdom.
Yep. And,
that's exactly what I think about when I think about Jen. She's getting stronger, but she's probably smarter. Yeah. She's a D1 athlete, but she's probably smarter now, more tactical, and has more wisdom. And she's such a great person too. She's, like she mentioned her kids at the Kids of Steel. We see her every year at the kids marathon, with the kiddos. So it's great to have somebody like that local that is really going to be an ambassador for running in this, in this community. And so many people, follow her and, like she said, cheer for her. So it was great to have her on.
It's hard not to cheer for someone like that and to get behind them and run with them,
Absolutely.
So very great guest, very great show. Thank you, Troy. Thank you all of our listeners for tuning in. We really appreciate your support, and we hope that we can continue to inspire you to have fun and to keep moving. Until then, we'll see you guys next time.